longtime member of the Essex Community Fund. I got involved after I was with the Cub Scouts as a leader, and it was the first community involvement thing I ever did, and I really liked it, and I got to know a lot of people in the community. And so Anthony Chirico actually said, oh, you should come over to the community fund. We only meet once a month and it's a couple hours, and that's all you need to do. I said, all right, I could do that. I put in a little bit more time than that, and here it is almost 10 years later. But it's a great organization, and I'm happy to be part of it. I'm a past president. I'm the committee chair for the donor committee. Jean Schneider, Jean, can you stand up? Is our president. Give her a hand. She has a terrible cold that is at the point where it's not contagious, but it's hard for her to talk. She goes into a coughing fit. So we don't want to do that to Jean. She will come up and talk later, but that's why you got me instead of Jean. I'd also like to introduce the other board members. We have Lauren Casio. And one of our newer members, Erin McDonough. Our other board members apologize. Some of them are out of town, some of them are sick. So we have less than normal, but they all say hi and thank you for coming. All right, how many people have come to our Day of Giving in the past? Could you raise your hand? Okay, all right, good amount. So you know what's in store for you, but for the newbies, this won't be that long. I know it might seem like it will be long, but the way we do it is each one of you will come up when we call up your organization. Please announce your name very clearly and maybe the position or what you do at the organization, and then speak maybe 2 to 4 minutes on how the money is helpful for you and what's new and exciting in your organization. Or you can do something different. If you could try to keep it to 2 to 4 minutes, then this actually only goes about an hour. It's inspiring. You'll all enjoy it. No pressure. Just be yourself and just talk about, whatever you're passionate about as it relates to your organization. But if you could speak to how the money is helpful, we always like to hear that. The recording, don't worry about that. We do that every year. Valley TV records it for us. The new thing that we're going to do this year, we usually try to have it on Comcast, the public channel or something like that. This year we're going to try to burn some DVDs and get them out to our donors. So this way they really hear how their money helps. So we thought that might be a good idea, so that's what we're going to do. All right, we'd like to thank Denise Learned and Camp Hazen for hosting this and the wonderful food. So is Denise in the room? Good. Denise, thank you very much. Of course, thank you all for coming. I know it's not easy to do this in the middle of the day, but you got a nice view. I know you had to swim to get here, but but it's beautiful here, and I'm glad you're going to enjoy this. So thank you for coming. All right. With that being said, I think we're going to just start going through this. Jean, is this in any particular order? It's not? Okay. So what I'm going to do, because I've heard complaints in the past, I'm going to mix this up. Is that okay? Is that not good? Huh?
Other than Essex Elementary School.
Well, yes, Essex Elementary. Yes, I'll have that go first. The reason why I want to mix it up is because otherwise you know the order because of the, and it's not fair. Some of the people that are lower in the alphabet, because right now it's alphabetized, will be at the end, and I don't know, I've heard complaints in the past, so I'm just going to mix it up. You don't know when you're going to be called up, and that's just the way it is. Okay? All right, but we are going to start with the Essex Elementary School camperships. Come on up. There's no mic here, but okay. There is, because that's the way we have the camera, sure. So if you can just...
Great, thank you so much. Nice to see you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Tusignach, so my last name begins with a T, so I definitely appreciate getting to go first. I understand that whole end of the alphabet thing, because my maiden name started with a V. So I'm up a couple letters, but this is great, thank you. I'm the principal of Essex Elementary School. I was the associate principal last year. This is my first year here today. This is my first event with all of you, so thank you for having me. Thank you so much for the donation for the camperships. What that does for our students who are in need, those who couldn't otherwise afford to have an opportunity for enrichment over the summer, It really is fantastic, and it is very, very much appreciated by the school and certainly by the families and the children that benefit from these camperships. So we're looking forward to selecting our students who are most in need and those who would benefit most from our campership donations. What we're doing this year is we have a priority list of students who we think would benefit most, and we're just going to go down that list. Some of these students live in homes where English is a second language, so having the opportunity for engagement in English and the ability to go and play and have experiences that for many of us are just a given. These kids really appreciate it, and the families appreciate the opportunity. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You wanted a couple good things that are going on, or new and exciting things in the school. We have a Look for the Good campaign, which we launched at the beginning of this year. I don't know if you've heard of Look for the Good, but you can go online, lookforthegood.org, to find out more about that. It's been a great campaign to talk to the kids about learning about gratitude and kindness and optimism, and it's just been all around a wonderful way to enrich the students and to help them not only with their peer relations, but we know that when things are good behaviorally, socially, and emotionally, that the academics come up. So that's been a great thing this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, I moved here 17 years ago, and we picked this location for the Essex Elementary School. We wanted to make sure it was a good school. Both my kids went through it. My daughter's in her first year of middle school, and she definitely misses the elementary school. She had a wonderful experience. It's a great school. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, next on our list, Bushy Hill Nature Center.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, my name is Dana Capasso-Stivers, and I am the Associate Executive Director of Incarnation Center, and Bushy Hill is our nature center. Jen is the director. I just want to say thank you so much for this grant. This grant provides scholarship money that we use for campers so that they can come. It's going to provide money for 7 campers this summer to come and spend 2 weeks at Bushy Hill. And I'll let Jen talk a little bit about the Bushy Hill program.
So, I'd like to thank you very much for this. It really does make a difference in the lives of the kids, especially in our community. Some of those kiddos who might not be able to normally afford to come, we're able to then bring, like she said, 7 kids to our camp this summer. And Bushy Hill really is a unique program. If you haven't been there, please come by. We're open to the public to come and explore and check it out. I'm a product of it. I was one of the first classes to go through the camp when it started about 35 years ago. And it is life-changing. And so much of who I am is because of the camp experience that I had there. And I went into teaching. A lot of the things that I learned at camp, I brought to my teaching and my classroom. I was able to reach a lot of those kids who maybe were a little bit more behaviorally challenged or who don't learn the same way in a traditional classroom, and bring those other experiences in. So camp helped me, but it helped me help others as well. And I see that with the campers that come to us. A number of our former campers become staff members, who then become teachers, and then again take their camp experience into the classroom and change lives for their kids. I did print out a couple of stories of gratitude from families that they had sent us. And I wanted to share these because it's not just thanking us, but it's thanking you guys as well. It's not, because of you guys, we're able to give these kids this experience. So this isn't just a thanks to Bushy Hill, this is a thanks to the community as well. So I got a couple quick ones I'll share. These are our top ones that I just wanted to make sure I shared. So Tamsin, I'll share what her father wrote first. Tamsin had visited Bushy Hill and met Jen in the springtime before her first summer camp there, or summer there. Then the first day of camp, Jen had clearly told the other counselors who the shy little girl was because we were probably 50 feet from the sign-in table when they excitedly waved and said, "Hi, Tamsin," the welcome. and the way the counselors treated her made her feel like a rock star. In fact, every morning of camp, Brendan meets each and every camper with a friendly welcome and an inside joke. Each kid is made to feel special. The spirit of encouragement and empowerment from the counselors breeds the same feelings and treatment in the campers. Tamsin is always excited and nervous about the swim test because she craves free access to all areas. However, one summer her test was a disaster. She was expected to allow to swim in the deepest area, but after her test, she didn't quite pass it. She had to be in the more shallow area. I'll just paraphrase down for you. Tamsin struggled and floundered, so the counselors rightly placed her in a shallow area. When she told me this at the end of the day, Tamsin was clearly crushed, but was doing better than expected. When I asked why, she said that her friends in her group, even the ones who were allowed to go in the deep areas, stayed with her and cheered her up. When I got her home, I wanted to teach her the breaststroke so that she could do better next time. However, when I got her in the pool, Tamsin showed she already knew it. Turns out that not only had her friends cheered her up, but one friend actually taught her the breaststroke. Tamsin's time at Bushy Hill is full of such stories of friendship and encouragement, which is why it's one of Tamsin's most favorite places. She goes every summer and has attended several times during the spring break. She even had a couple of birthday parties there. We think the world of Bushy Hill and its staff because of the spirit of caring and support that permeates the camp and the people who run it. And I have to tell you about Tamsin. Last year, she came and asked to go up in front of 120 other campers to share a challenge that she had for the camp of picking up trash on the property. And she came up and she's holding these 2 big bags. She's like, over the last 2 days, I picked up this trash and I challenge all of you. And this little girl barely would speak on the first day of camp years before. So it just shows how comfortable she is and what a positive influence. I just have a couple others. Our oldest son, now 10, enjoyed Bushy Hill Camp so much that when his younger brother was able to join Seedlings at age 4, they both couldn't sleep the night before the first day of camp. They have both always loved being outside, but now they both have so much more knowledge and experience of the woods, pond life, hiking, tool making, and plant identification. Our now 5-year-old loves telling us what trees we have in our front yard and describing how he knows what makes a maple leaf a maple leaf. Our oldest son flourished this past summer now, making bow drills and even getting embers, which is a big deal. Our family participates in living history reenactments, and both boys can apply what they have learned at Bushy Hill to so much of the daily activities. Staff are all amazing. They truly care about and make a point to get to know each camper under their care. And another one, as a parent, what I love is the small family-like atmosphere. By the end of the summer, my kids know most of the counselors, not just their own, and the counselors know them. I never worry when I send my kids there. It just feels safe. They might come home scratched up and absolutely filthy, but I love it and the smiles on their faces. It's a time when they can just be a kid and explore the world around them. And I have to just tell you, we have branded dirt. One of our kids didn't have Bushy Hill anything on him, went to the dentist after camp one day, was covered head to toe, and the dentist said, oh, you must have been coming from Bushy Hill because you're so dirty. And he was. So apparently people recognize our dirt, and the mother was grateful for that. And the last thing I will share is from a kiddo who started with us last summer, and he started 1 week, just going to try it out, fell in love, stayed the entire summer, and then came to February camp this last February, and this is what his mom had to say after that. Thank you so much for today. Our son was his old self tonight. He really needed a dose of Bushy Hill. He had a rough school year, and we just received a diagnosis for him of ADHD/anxiety with sensory processing issues. He was coming off a rough weekend. I feel like I dropped off a bag of random ingredients this morning and brought home a 4-course meal. I don't know precisely what your special magic powers are, but I'm wholly appreciative. When I told him that I was so happy for him that he had such a great day, he replied, of course I did. My clothes are all muddy, and that's how you know I had a great day. Thank you, all of you. And again, thank you guys for all of that, because it's not just us. A lot of the kids who have difficulty, like I said, in the classrooms, whether it's learning disabilities or if they're on the spectrum and stuff, they find a home there with us, and parents wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to send them to us without your help. So thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Okay. How's the volume? I know we don't have a microphone, but you want higher, lower? Good? Good? Everybody's good? All right, good. Looking back there in the back. It's a good room, I think. All right, next. Essex Police Union. Anybody from the Essex Police Union? Okay. Essex Veterans Memorial Hall. Depends how good you get.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the president of the Essex Veterans Memorial Hall. Been president there for what, 3 years now? Seems like 53 years? 3 years. On behalf of the membership, we thank you for this generous grant. It's through these grants, donations, and our own fundraising activities that we can continue to provide for our primary mission of caring for our veterans, and as well as giving back to our community. One big thing we have going on, and you'll see it in the Essex events on April 17th, is we started this thing about memorializing our veterans. And it kind of started out with, we took pictures of members, past and present, when they served, put it on a wall, generated a lot of conversation, a lot of history. Then we did a chair nameplate campaign, which on the back of the chairs has the name, the rank, the years they served, branch of service. So now we're trying to collect stories, because we're losing a lot of history from our veterans. So when you see that article, feel free to reach out to me if you have anything you want to add. And it's a great initiative, and people are getting a lot out of it. So thank you.
Terrific. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Essex Veterans are the charter organization for the Boy Scouts, so very much appreciated. All right, Valley Shore YMCA.
Good morning, Chris Pilato. I'm the Executive Director at the Valley Shore YMCA in Westbrook, and I'd like to thank the Essex Community Fund for your support of our Delay the Disease program. Delay the Disease is a program for people living with Parkinson's, and so Parkinson's can be a frightening, isolating, frustrating disease to live with. And one of the things that we hear from a lot of our participants is that, prior to this program, they really didn't feel like they had a future. They find that daily activities and routines and things they've come to really enjoy in their lives and relationships they have really suffered because of their experience of Parkinson's. And so Delay the Disease brings these folks together, gives them a common connection, and then has some specific activities to help them with their fine and gross motor skills, their voice control, their handwriting. And so we collected some stories as well, and as part of our process. We're about 12 weeks in, and the shared experience is that everyone feels better. They've met other people. They can talk to a little bit about medication. They can talk to them about the experiences they're having and the frustrations they share. And you walk into this class. In the first class, everyone was very nervous, and a lot of them are their health is very obviously in challenge. And 12 weeks in, you walk in and it feels like a regular boot camp class. They're laughing, they've got apparatus everywhere, they're on the floor, they're doing things. And what's interesting is that the program is designed by Ohio Health, and it really has a demonstrated track record of reducing the impact of Parkinson's and slowing it. And so some of the stories we hear from people is that some people share that they can start gardening again. One gentleman shared that his biggest accomplishment is that he can button his own shirt again. And and that's one of the sad things that comes with Parkinson's, that you lose your ability to do daily functions. And so when these people come and they say, I can actually insert daily thing that we take for granted, we know that we're being successful. And we couldn't do this without the support of the Essex Community Fund. The program has a small fee attached, but there are a number of people in the program who can't afford to pay, and so this program allows us to provide scholarships to those folks. It also allows us to hire additional personal trainers to work one-on-one with some of our folks that are in wheelchairs and have advanced Parkinson's, because they need a little extra attention. So that support goes a long way for us. So thank you very much.
Thanks, All right, literacy volunteers. Anyone hear from there? All right.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Mark O'Brien. First, I have to say I absolutely love the idea that an Irishman is only going to talk for 2 to 4 minutes. At any rate, this is, as I said to somebody earlier, this is my 28th day on the job as Executive Director of Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore. And as I was remarking in a conversation with Allison from Tri-Town Youth Services a little while ago, there are no accidents. So to give you a sense of why I think that the support of the Essex Community Fund and others is so important I just want to tell you something that you might not hear somewhere else. And of course, I was very struck at Jennifer's comment that children and families from Essex Elementary School and others look for support in English as a second language, and we do provide those services. Primarily for adults, but we are working with students as young as 15 at this point. So I don't know what your philosophical or religious persuasions might be, and it doesn't matter, but I want to cite two examples. Somewhere around 500 BC, somebody asked Confucius how he would restore order to the world. And he said, first, I would straighten out the language. About 500 or 600 years later, roughly 100 AD, the Apostle John starts his Gospels with, in the beginning was the Word. From my perspective, what that tells me is that language, the Word, is the one thing that all of us use, all of us share, in attempt to make order in our own worlds. So in Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore, we have people who are coming to this country, a different world. They have courage I can't even begin to imagine, because they're coming to a country with which they're unfamiliar, and in which they're largely unfamiliar with the native language, and they do it anyway. So as a result of your support, we are able to help those people with the language by which they impose order on their world. One more thing I will tell you about myself. Both of my sons happen to be basketball coaches. And I remember when I saw my older son, Sean, coach his first basketball game. I recognized that it was the first time in his life that I had seen him in his element. And in this job as executive director of Valley Shore, Literacy Volunteers Valley Shore, I recognize that I'm in mine. And that's no accident. So I thank you all. I thank you for your support, and I look forward to working with you some more. Thanks so much.
Okay, Estuary Council of Seniors. Okay. New Horizons Domestic Violence.
I'll stand on my tippy toes. Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm from New Horizons Domestic Violence Services. We are a nonprofit organization that serves all of Middlesex County. We serve victims and their families by providing them with emergency shelter, a 24-hour hotline, support groups for both children and women and men. Community education, that includes trainings to hospital staff or behavioral health providers, or going into schools and teaching kids about healthy relationships. We also provide emergency clothing and food and individual counseling for those who can't normally afford it with their insurance, as well as court advocacy to help victims kind of navigate the legal systems that can be very confusing after leaving a traumatic relationship. This past fiscal year, we've served over 1,100 victims and families in Middlesex County, and unfortunately the numbers just keep going up. And so support from communities such as the Essex Community Fund really allows us to reach out to more families and victims all across the county, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of organizations such as these, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Valley TV Club.
I'm Haley. I go to Valley Regional, and I'm in the Valley TV club. It's like after school, and we film like the musicals and sports club, like the sports like basketball, so like they can rewatch them to see if they did anything wrong or see what they could do better. On behalf of Valley TV, we thank everybody for the donation. Over the years, they've helped us get new camera equipment that makes it better for us to record live. And we also have a YouTube account. It's Valley TV Live, and it will just come up and it will show you all the things that we've like recorded and like done throughout like the years of having Valley TV. Personally, Valley TV has helped me figure out that I want to like pursue like a career in like photography and filming, and we look forward to using the donation in a positive way to impact all the students so they can realize if they want to do filming and stuff too.
Yeah, Valley TV has been volunteering to record this, I don't know how long, at least 7 years.
Yeah.
And sometimes they broadcast it live. Last year, I couldn't make it, and I was at my computer watching this live, which was pretty cool, I thought. I don't know how many other people did it, but this year they're going to record it with 3 different cameras and edit it, and we'll make DVDs, hopefully. They also made a video for us. A team of students made a video, which is on our website. It's 3 to 4 minutes that describes the Essex Community Fund. So if you ever go to our website, click on that video. They did a great job. All right, next is Region 4 Foundation. Perfect, actually. I didn't even plan that. Good. You guys, please, we'll talk about it.
So, Region 4 Education Foundation, what we do, we solicit money from the community, and we distribute it to Valley and John Winthrop, the 2 award-winning schools. I hope you guys are all aware of that John Winthrop was the #1 middle school a few years ago, and Valley has been ranked by U.S. News and World Report as one of the top 3% of the high schools in the whole country. So quite an honor for all you folks and you children that support the schools. In the past, as I said, we distribute funds to different programs and items that are not normally in an operating budget. So we actually underwrote Valley TV, and some of the monies that we helped underwrote Valley TV came from Essex Community Fund. So there's a big connection here between the 3 of us. This year, the funds that we're going to receive is going to go towards a technology, education department, and it's going to help purchase a CNC router. And a CNC router is a computer numerical control router. And the machine is, this is something that Chris wrote because we have to have formal applications. So I'm reading his application. He's the head of your TV and he's the head of the tech department. But by definition is a computer control cutting machine related to the numerical control milling used in many companies for cutting various hard metals such as wood, composites, aluminum, steel, plastics, and foam. The router would be used to incorporate a new technology into Valley's school materials processing and engineering class. It will allow students to explore more complex material processing techniques using a variety of materials, again, wood, plastic, light metals. It will expose students to more modern methods of creating common items such as doors, cabinets, frames, and furniture. And the students will learn how to take the project from design concept, which is the computers, to production using the CNC router. So what this does, as you know, most of the students from Valley go on to college, but there's a percentage of students that don't want to go to college and they want to go into manufacturing. And this is the exposure to these students to see what the manufacturing sector is all about. So thank you for helping us through the years. Appreciate it. And thank you, Valley, for doing such a great job.
Thank you, Rick. One thing I forgot to do, which I'm embarrassed, and I apologize. Rick is our past president of the Essex Community Fund, and he's currently on the Donor Relations Committee. So I should have had him stand up earlier, and I apologize. And he's also a good friend. Thank you. All right, next we have visiting nurses of Lower Valley. Do we have anybody from visiting nurses? Okay. Teen Zone.
Hi, good morning. My name is Dave Fowler. I'm from Bikes for Kids, but I'm here today to stand in for Victoria Taylor from Teen Zone, who couldn't be here today. Teen Zone, very briefly, is a group here in town that works with at-risk young people to teach them several types of social and cultural graces that are often lacking with this particular group of people. One of the things that she does in her program, as an example, is to teach them dinner etiquette. Take the group out to dinner. More or less cultural types of things, etiquette again. And she may end up at the playhouse with these kids. There is a community service component that she does. She brings them down to our wheelhouse at Bikes for Kids often, and they'll help us get bikes ready to distribute to young people in need as well. And it's groups like the kids at Teen Zone and Eagle Scouts and several other people that have helped us to just recently give away our 20,000th bicycle. So on behalf of Victoria and Teen Zone, I'd like to thank you all very much. She really appreciates this in order to carry her program along too. Thank you.
Yeah, Teen Zone, it's a good story I want to bring up. I remember Vicki meeting her. She was doing a successful program in Middletown, and then was creating it here. And you know, she came to us and asked for some funding. So this would be an example of an emerging need in you know, a newer nonprofit, and how Essex Community Fund likes to help that. The other thing I wanted to mention is, you know, Dave's obviously with Bikes for Kids, and one of the things the Essex Community Fund likes to do is kind of partner, pair, match, if you will. You know, if we hear something and we think another nonprofit could help another nonprofit, we love doing that because we tend to talk to all the nonprofits, and so we're uniquely positioned at the Essex area to do that. So we love being able to do that. So thanks, Dave. All right, Essex Fuel Assistance.
My name is Mary Ellen Barnes. I'm the Social Service Director for the town of Essex, and this is actually my eyesight. So what we do at Essex Social Services is our goal is to be the bridge for the people in our community that may have a specific need. Sometimes they don't even know what their need is, but they know they can call Essex Social Services, and we're going to try to find them a way to solve their problem, send them in a direction. You know, we may not be able to provide all the services, but our goal is to at least act like a bridge and get them to our partners, whether it be the Shoreline Soup Kitchen, or visiting nurses, or energy assistance through Operation Fuel. We have so many partners, and we're just so grateful because our community fund has always had our back. Whether it was a year where it was so cold and we went right through all our funding for fuel assistance, I knew that I could call the community fund and they would help. They have been a partner for many, many years, and we're just really, really grateful. And the people that come into our office are our neighbors. They're the people that we go to school with. They're the people that we work with. You know, whether it's, you know, a loss of a job suddenly, or an unexpected medical expense, a death in the family. You just don't know. People are living paycheck to paycheck. And a little bit of help with their fuel goes a long way, especially in the winter when it's cold. And then you think, well, okay, we made it through the winter, it wasn't so bad. Well, you know, they couldn't afford their electric bill all winter either. So come April 1st, they're gonna get their lights shut off. So again, you know, this is another way that we can help people kind of manage and get through the difficult times and be a resource for them. And we are, even though we're a town entity, we're the town of Essex Social Services, we are self-supporting. So it is really important that we have community partners like the Community Fund and many other local nonprofits, because we wouldn't be able to do this without you. And again, I'm just really grateful for all your support. And I do have to shout out to this team, the Community Fund. I also run the Irish Parade in Essex. And it was, I don't know, -10. And this team came out with their flags and their team members, and they walked that parade, and there was never a doubt in my mind that they would be there, and they were. And I just want to say that I'm really, really grateful for their partnership, and they really are a great team member of our community. Thanks.
Okay, friends in service here, Fish.
I'm Henry May. I drive for Fish, Friends in Service here. I'm also president. We drive people free of charge to medical appointments. We've been around since 1970. We had 836 rides last year, and we have 60 volunteer drivers. This money from the Essex Community Fund helps us with our telephone answering service and some other costs. Our dispatchers get paid as well. So this is a great thing, and we grow each year, but our costs stay about the same. So that's a good business to be in. Thank you.
All right. Tri-Town Youth Services.
Good morning. My name is Allison Abramson, and I am the new Executive Director of Tri-Town Youth Services. I've been there since January. Tri-Town is a nonprofit agency that assesses the needs of families and children in Chester, Deep River, and Essex. We host some programs, after-school programs and mentoring programs in the elementary schools, and teen leadership building programs at Valley. And we also provide counseling services to families. We have a sliding fee scale. And so for some families in our community who do not have insurance or ability to pay, they're able to come and meet with our new clinical director, Melanie Meyer, and talk about problems and challenges and come up with solutions. And she's a wonderful support to them. And we're so grateful to the Essex Community Fund, because that is the program that they have been helping us with for many years, helping us to grow and expand our counseling services. And in exciting news in the year ahead, we're hoping to grow that program, and Melanie is going to be working with a team of master's interns to be able to offer more supports to families, to be able to bring in groups of people, adults and youth, who might be going through divorce, who might be facing some particular challenges, and really do some deep support work in groups. And we think it'll be a great brand new resource for our community. So we're very grateful for the support, and we're looking forward to working with many of the people in the room. A lot of our partners are here, and this is such a great networking event because we get to hear about some of your programs and connect families to your services as well, and we know that there's a need there. So thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Gilead Community Services.
My name is Denise Gable, and I'm the development coordinator at Gilead. I've been there for about a year, and in the Gilead world, that's a newbie. Everybody you meet there has been there for decades. I want to thank the Essex Community Fund for your continued support to Gilead. This money will help subsidize outpatient mental health services in our Middletown and Chester locations. Last year, we serviced 508 individuals, and that included 24 Essex residents. These services included medication management, intensive services, case management, and social rehab skills. We also offered services to military families through crisis intervention, stress debriefing, behavioral therapy, dual diagnosis treatment, and solution-focused therapy. These services are so essential to these people because otherwise they may not receive any due to cost. With grant monies like this, we're able to maintain a sliding fee scale. Our clients are offered a reduction of fees based on their income, which range from 20 to 80% reduction. I'd like to just share a quick recent success story about one of our outpatient clinics. Diane is a 43-year-old divorced female that came to treatment for depression and anxiety. She also had significant financial issues due to health problems. She had 3 surgeries for a stomach disorder that contributed to her inability to work as a homemaker and companion. She could not afford to pay her mortgage. Her parents moved into her basement apartment to help her financially. She was going through foreclosure. She had relationship problems that affected her daughter, and as a result, her daughter moved out. She was suffering with sleeping disorders. After an assessment and psychiatric medication evaluation, she began weekly therapy. Her therapist diagnosed attention and concentration problems, so medications were prescribed to improve mental focus. After several trials of anxiety and sleep medication, the right combination helped her manage her mood. She began sleeping better. Diane now has the energy to move forward with foreclosure mediation and relocate into something more affordable in the area. She has begun making better relationship decisions, and her daughter is now spending more time with her. They have begun to repair their past strained relationship. With continued services, Diane is looking forward to gaining full-time employment and financial stability. Diane would not have been able to afford these services without grant monies provided from the Essex Community Fund. Gilead sincerely thanks everybody.
Thank you. Iverson Library.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Alvord. I'm the director of the Iverson Library. On behalf of the library and the staff and the board of trustees and the patrons, I'd like to thank the Essex Community Fund for this donation, and I'd like to thank Camp Hazen. This is a gorgeous place out here. It's been a number of years since I've been here, and this is really lovely, and I'm wondering if you need a librarian here. I'm happy to just move on over here. So the Iverson Library, I hope you've been there. It's a tiny little place. You know, we're one of the smallest on the shoreline, and but we've been there maybe the longest. Let's just say we've been there the longest. 1871 we started, and I moved into our building in 1889. And we do what we can in our little place. Small building, a small budget, but big hearts, as we like to say. And it seems that I come here every year and talk about different collections that I'm hoping to use this donation for. Last year, I was in the process of expanding our large print collection because our patrons were starting to need large print, asking for it, and I've come here for our music CD collection and expanding audiobooks, and this year I actually have 2. collections that I'm in the process of working on. This is like my baby. The Ivyton Library is, because we're so small, our budget is small, our storage, our shelf space is small, we're really very patron driven. All libraries are, of course, to a certain extent, but we really are. I can't afford to be bringing in books that may have no bearing on our patronage. I might see a lovely, really well-reviewed book on physics, but if I don't have anybody who's really reading things on Stephen Hawking and Neil deGrasse Tyson and physics and science, then it's a waste of money, it's a waste of space. So I'm really very patron-driven, which doesn't mean, of course, that I'm only buying the newest James Patterson and Clive Cussler and Danielle Steele, even though I am. But I'm also trying to find new things. But I'm also listening to the patrons, because I'm director, sure, but I'm behind the desk. If you call, I'm the one answering the phone. I'm the one checking the books out to you, because, yeah, small. Did I mention small? And so I see the patrons that are coming in and asking for things. And so this year, this has already started, and this donation is going to go a long way to expanding 2 collections that I've started. One is in Spanish language, and the other is in books for emerging adult readers, because it's hard. We offer a space up to a lot of tutors. We have a number of tutors that come in with people, and some of them are adults who are, and I think in all but one case, they are emerging adult readers because English is their second language, and they're just learning this now. But it's hard when they say, and do you have books for these people? And these people are in their 30s, and I'm giving them books that say the cat sat on the mat and is down in the children's room. So there are publishers, and some of them focused specifically on books for adult readers. So the content is adult. There are murders, and there are love relationships, and there's war after love. And but it's written in simpler language, shorter sentences, simpler vocabulary. And I have a few, and they are in demand. And so I thank the Essex Community Fund for allowing me to have that extra funding to be able to do this for the patrons that seem to be looking for it. Thank you very much.
All right, we're running on schedule. Looks like around 11:30 we're going to wrap up. We have about 6 left. One thing I want to mention is I know that everyone asks for grants, every year, our annual grants. We ask for it by mid-December, I believe, every year. And I know most of the time we can't give you everything that you've asked for. Sometimes we can, but a lot of times we can't. It's based on the money we have available that year, which we collect every year. We do have an endowment fund that we're trying to boost up, and we get interest sometimes that helps us. But most of the money comes from all our donors all throughout the community in all different amounts, and so the amount changes. So, but please keep asking for what you need. We want to understand what the needs are. We're going to give what we can, but also we'd like to communicate to the community and to donors. Look, this is what the community needs, and we're only able to give this much, this percentage of it. We'd like to continue to communicate that so donors are aware of the impact that they make when they provide donations. Okay? All right, next one is visiting nurses of the Lower Valley. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. Glad I could make it. Sorry I was tardy. Visiting Nurse of the Lower Valley has been in existence for nearly 100 years, 1920 to be exact. And in this day and age of healthcare providers, specifically home care, we are the David among many Goliaths. We're a small nonprofit agency, but one can't forget about quality, and that's very much the focus on healthcare these days. And when it comes to quality, VNLV ranks in the top end. We pride ourselves on that, and we pride ourselves on being able to provide services to pretty much any individual. We rarely say no, and with that comes the burden of financial ability of those who pay, and of course the funding that we do receive from the Essex Community Fund really helps us get to those who don't necessarily have the means, or they fall short, etc. And we're very proud of that. We're a very well-established community provider, not only in Essex, Deep River, and Chester, but beyond. We service 15 towns. Not a huge territory, but a good-sized territory. We have longevity among our staff. I think that speaks volumes of what we're doing. And we also have a unique program, and that is that of Faith Community Nurse. It's a non-reimbursable program, but it provides a lot of community education to not only area churches, but also senior centers and other community groups. And there's a lot of value with that. And obviously it helps us get the word out about our agency even more so too. We've got a great reputation, and we're looking forward to continuing for another 100 years in the future, as long as we're financially stable, and of course this funding does help us. Thank you very much.
Community Music School.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abigail Nickel. I'm the Executive Director of Community Music School, and we provide music education for all ages and all abilities. So we teach almost every instrument you can imagine, including some oddballs like marimba and vibes and early Renaissance recorder for adults, you name it. So a little bit of everything in all ages as well. So starting 6 months old, we have our kinder music program that ranges up to age 4, and then we have, of course, everything you can imagine for school-age children, teen jazz programs, we have intergenerational programs, including a 50-piece string orchestra, and then all the way up into our senior programs, including the New Horizons Band, where people are picking up an instrument either for the first time in their 80s or up to 92 is our oldest member, or they're picking up an instrument that they haven't played in 50 years or more. So it's a really cool, broad-ranging program that we have. And this funding goes towards our Access to Music Fund, which helps with financial need-based scholarships. So students of all ages can participate in whatever they're hoping to. And we can help them out with that however they need. And then we also have a music therapy program under that umbrella as well, and that serves mostly autism, but a wide range of special needs as well. And our new and exciting thing that we're working on right now is expanding that music therapy program. So right now it's mostly one-on-one sessions, which are very much needed in this area and can be very helpful for those students. But we're also looking at maybe an early education program in a group setting, or a teen and young adult program as well for music therapy. So we're in the curriculum development stage of that right now, but I think that's going to be really cool, and again, not widely available in this area. So a lot of wide-reaching stuff to make music accessible to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Essex Housing Authority. Good to see you.
My name is Tammy Mesite. I have been the property manager at Essex Court, which is Main Street, Centerbrook, for 9 years. Over those 9 years, I have seen a huge decline in what the elderly people receive in this area. Although, going through the list, I have checked off all but 2. So you guys choose very good organizations. All but 2. One of them was the domestic violence, which thankfully I haven't had any people go to, but between a friend, my family, or any or all of the residents have used all but 2 of the organizations that you guys contribute to. So thank you from all of them too. Unfortunately, we're looking at a possible federal reduction of, I don't know if you guys following what our new president wants to do, but they're talking about taking away all the money from Meals on Wheels. I have a lot of residents in our community that get Meals on Wheels. So that means they're going to be getting a lot less hot meals. Don't know what they're going to eat. Maybe I'm going to have to cook for them more. I hate to cook, but I'll do it. The other program, which is a state-funded program, is the Elderly Rental Assistance Program, which if our base rent is very low, it's at $340. If they can't afford it, my base rent, they get subsidized by the state. The way it gets calculated is whatever their income is, it's 30% of that. and the state makes up the difference. There's a letter and a threat every single year, but this year it's very scary because they have yet to approve our budget, which is kind of scary. We have to submit our budget to the state, and then they look at our budget and how much we're going to need for rental assistance, and they haven't approved it yet, so we don't know what's going to happen. So as we recertify each person every March, this time I had to say, and you know what, guys, you might not be paying $200. You might have to pay the $340. I don't know how they're going to eat if they have to pay the $340. We do provide, which I say the same thing every year, what we typically do with the money from Essex Community Fund is we provide one hot meal a week. I will subsidize food for people if I think they don't have enough. The other thing that we offer to them is try to do at least a couple times a month a social activity. We do get no money other than from donations for bingo prizes or any kind of social activity. I'm thinking we have bingo coming up for Easter. We have bunny bingo coming. And I'm laying in bed thinking, what can I put in those eggs? You know what? I'm thinking I'm going to give them quarters to pay for their laundry. Because I think some of them don't have the $1.25 to do their laundry because they'll come in, I don't have enough money, so I give it to them. So I think their little Easter egg is going to have their $1.25 to do laundry. They always want practical gifts. I mean, they don't want anything, they want a bottle of dish detergent. So that's what your money does for the residents of Essex Court. So I thank you so much for that. I don't know what we would do without it. I'm sorry that I have to say the same thing every year. That I do the same thing with the money, but that is what I do with the money. So thank you. I feed them and give them some enjoyment.
Okay, next is Essex Cub Scout and Essex Boy Scouts. I'm actually going to accept this one. We had conflicts with the leaders of both organizations, so which is fine because I'm actually a leader in the Boy Scouts and I was a leader in the Cub Scouts, as I mentioned earlier. So one thing I haven't mentioned is we understand at the board of the Essex Community Fund that some of the funds that we provide to organizations are just a percentage of what you need, and you do your own fundraisers and you get funds from other places. And then for some of your programs, we're the biggest donor, and you depend on it every year, and we know that, and you communicated that to us. For the Scouts, Essex Community Fund, we researched it, has been supporting them for decades and decades, and is the biggest supporter of the financially of the scouting programs, both the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. The scouting programs, I think, is very important to the community and kind of interwoven. Many of you had direct contact with the programs, usually through Eagle Scout projects, which we love to do. And by the way, I ask this every year, if you are aware of any projects that you think an Eagle Scout might be able to do for your organization, let me know, either afterwards or email me anytime. I have a running list, and we've done a lot over the years. We've done pathways and things for the library. We've done similar things for the Historical Society, different buildings, bikes for kids. We've done bike collections and repair. We try to do what we can. Beautiful bridges over creeks at for the Land Trust in Comstock Park. The list goes on. I can go on and on. The Essex Community Fund provides funding, $250 for every Eagle project, if needed. So on behalf of your organization, we provide $250. I know a lot of your organizations also provide some funds when an Eagle project comes in, and then the Eagle Scout also asks for donations from a lumber store or something like that. So we all work together, and it works out well. The other thing that the funds are for is similar to some of your other organizations. It's for those Scout families that don't have the financial means to participate. We never want that to be a reason to participate in Scouting. And so these funds have always consistently made sure that we haven't had to turn away anybody. We have our dues, which aren't too bad, but we do camp-outs activities where we need to buy food and things like that. And then there's the camp, the summer camp, which is one of the highlights, which is not real expensive, but a lot of families can't afford it. And these funds always make sure that everybody can go. very much appreciated. So thank you, Essex Community. All right. 2 left. Ivoryton Playhouse.
My name is Donna Bowden. I'm the Education Program Coordinator at the Ivoryton Playhouse. Many thanks to the Essex Community Fund for this grant. This is very near and dear to my heart, as well as the Playhouse. One, key component of the Playhouse is education, and that includes internships, it includes children's programming in the summer. And what we've done in the last 3 years is try to build up our programming for schools. We've done this starting 3 years ago, bringing in elementary schools. They are able to attend the program for free. And it's kind of twofold. We've brought them in for the arts aspect, but we've also created this program which we're now calling Plays with Purpose. And it's centering on teaching kids to treat each other with dignity and respect, and it's got the anti-bullying message to it. So we're focusing now on third, fourth, and fifth grade, because this is the age where it's just so important to get this message across. The response has been incredible from schools, which in and of itself kind of tells us about the need for it. Region 4 has been just incredibly supportive. I was so glad to hear Jennifer say that social and emotional development then help academic development, because that's really what this program is all about. And we have Region 4 coming on the Friday of the program. They've now all come together and coordinate, and so it's really fun for them just to bring the 3 schools together on the same day, and they fill the entire theater. The program includes curriculum that we've developed over the last 3 years, and it also includes talkbacks. So the questions from the kids are just so insightful, it's unbelievable. And it's on both the art of theater and on the anti-bullying theme. So this year, in addition to Region 4, we have 11 total schools coming from as far away as Branford and Salem. And we had, originally focused on Middlesex County, but people are hearing about the program. So those are people who sought us out for it, the ones that were from farther afield. There's 1,500 kids coming, kids and teachers in total. And as I said, the Region 4 and Essex Elementary makes 250 plus, so they fill the theater on that day. This year's play is, we started, the first year was The Bully. It was about a bullying situation. Last year we did Polka Dots, the Cool Kids musical, which was based on Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine story. This year we picked The 100 Dresses. We picked this last summer, which is a fabulous little story written by Ellen Orestes from Connecticut in 1944. And the beauty of it is that it is just a timeless tale about a little girl who is made fun of. She's an immigrant from Poland, takes place in 1939, and read the story to find out about what the 100 Dresses are, because it's just a lovely little story with a little twist at the end, so I don't want to give that away. But I think that's about all I can tell you about it. It's just, it's great having the kids at the theater. I mean, the energy of having all those school kids during a full week of shows, we just love it. Everyone there loves it. It's just so different from what the Playhouse normally does during the season. So we also, the Playhouse as a whole had the annual meeting last night, and it's just all good stuff. Great season coming up. Memberships up, subscriptions up. Come see.
All right.
Thank you very much.
For many years, the Essex Community Fund has been doing one fundraiser per year, and we partnered with the Playhouse. So many of you have been to our fundraiser, which we enjoy and like partnering. There's two, not one, so I apologize. So two more left. I'd like to bring up Patty from the Shoreline Soup Kitchen.
Every year, the Essex Community Fund gives us our check a little early so we can apply it to the Gallery Challenge and match it. So I don't get an envelope, but I get the joy of being with you today. And boy, what a beautiful day. Thank you, Essex Community Fund. As we've all been talking, I so agree with you about all the moments where our guests have intersected with your services. Literacy volunteers, Essex Housing, social services. I mean, it's very powerful to me how many lives are touched by what we do. And I always think the common denominator of that is the Essex Community Fund, because they're always supporting all of these activities to help those often the least seen, the least cared for, and certainly the challenges of today for those who are struggling financially just feel even more profound. So I thank you for not only the support financially, but for the food drives you do for us, and for generally just always being there when we need you. We provide food and fellowship along the shoreline, and we have 3 meal sites in Essex. Last year, in the first 3 months of the year, we provided 326 meals from those 3 meal sites. So far in 2017, it's been 638. I'm not sure, it's hard to, it's 3 months, right? So saying that's a trend that will continue is hard to say at this point, but it is something we are absolutely keeping our eye on. We know that the number of Essex residents who are registered at one of our 5 pantries in 2015 was 328 for the year. Last year was 405. So there's an assumption it might bump up a little bit again in 2017. So I just let you know, because I don't think that's probably a surprise to anyone, but I'm just going to be a little hopeful that it's not going to continue at that level through the year. But we'll let you know, and because of folks like the Essex Community Fund, we will be providing the support that's needed to keep people fed as best we can. And we're very, very grateful to all the people in this room who I know who cook at meal sites, who work at pantries, who do food drives. All together we really help those in need in such a concrete way. Some of the new stuff to report. One thing is that the Shoreline Basic Needs Task Force, of which we are a member, continues to try to bring together voices to advocate for those changes in our community that might help increase self-sufficiency. Mary Ellen, I think about the parade and the Alice was represented, the United Way's report about asset limited, income constrained, employed. And I know she marched, and what a powerful presence to be at the parade on St. Patrick's Day. And then the last bit of news on a more personal note, I am going to be retiring from the Shoreline Soup Kitchens. This is my last time being here, and I'm filled with great emotion about that, because I just love this meeting. I love that it was at Camp Hazen for my last one. I'll be leaving at the end of June, and the board is currently looking for the next executive director. And it's so nice to meet 2 newer folks, and certainly Abigail, to see some of the new vibrancy that's coming to our community. So if you know of anybody who might be interested in the position, please share that, because I know that the next person will come with such excitement and such really great energy for the future. So thank you, Essex Community Fund, and I thank you all for letting me be part of this community for so long.
Okay, Camp Hazen.
Well, hello there. My name's
Denise Learned. I'm the Executive Director here at Camp Hazen YMCA, and I am thrilled that you're all here today. Thank you so much to the Essex Community Foundation. I'll get into more for Camp Hazen in just a minute, but I think for all of us in the agency and nonprofit world that we're in, serving children and families and individuals of Essex, we couldn't do it without you. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here to hear what each other is doing, because that's amazing. So thank all of you for what you're doing. From Camp Hazen YMCA, we are so thrilled and so fortunate that the Essex Community Fund has supported what we do. The gift that we received this year, as in the past years, goes directly to children and families from Essex and Ivoryton and Centerbrook to provide camperships or financial assistance so kids can attend our overnight camp program and our day camp program. We're very fortunate here at Camp Hazen YMCA. We have amazing property. We have wonderful facilities. We have great toys, whether they're climbing walls or sailboats or archery ranges. But what we really do here is help kids develop life skills. We help children work on their self-confidence, on their self-esteem. We help them learn to not only be tolerant of other people who are different than them, but to be able to celebrate those differences. And kids today are really lacking that. You know, I'm sure people 20 years ago said the same thing. I think today more than ever, kids are so at risk. Kids have really tough lives. They've got stressed family lives. They've got tough lives at school. And a lot is being forced on these little people. So it's great when they can come to a place like Camp Hazen or Bushy Hill or Valley Shore YMCA or other children's programs that really focus on their social development and really help them be active members or active future members of their community. So thank you for what you've done for us in providing kids from Chester, from Essex and Ivoryton and Centerbrook. We'll be able to provide with this gift and many others about $400,000 in financial assistance this year. We realize that camp to most families is not always, well, we think it is, but it's not always a basic need, and yet kids need it so desperately. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really.
Okay, for closing remarks, I'd like to bring up Jean Miner, our president, who will do her best.
Sorry about this,
Yeah.
But I appreciate Darwin taking over for me, and I thank you all for coming, and what you do is so amazing, and I still love do it. So stay for life, but thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here, and thank you very much.